morning, everyone. Welcome to Kids Church. I'm Chappie Lee.
I'm Chappie Cheryl.
We're actually here this morning because we wanted to just share one of our favourite Bible stories with you. But first, I reckon Cheryl might have something special for us.
Well, actually, our Bible story today is going to be about some sheep. So I've got some really interesting facts about sheep for you.
Cool.
First of all, did you know that sheep have rectangle pupils? It means they don't have to turn their head to see behind them.
That is crazy.
It is really crazy. And also, their fleece, their wool, just grows forever.
Imagine if they didn't get sheared. Like, they'd be like this big.
Mm-hmm. And it would be really heavy.
Oh, I can imagine.
Mm-hmm. And if a sheep falls on its back, it can't stand back up again.
What?
No, just gets stuck on its back. It's called a cast sheep.
Poor little thing.
I know. It needs the farmer to come and help it stand up on its feet.
That is very interesting.
It is really. I find it really, really interesting.
I don't have any sheep facts, but I know something about a shepherd.
A shepherd? Awesome.
Yeah. So, shepherd, he looks after the sheep. We call them farmers in Australia, but that's their name overseas. So a shepherd actually knows every single sheep that he has. So we look at sheep and they all look the same, but he actually even names them.
Wow.
He's so attached to his sheep.
Imagine trying to tell the difference between all those sheep. They just look like a heap of white sheep.
And the other fact I do know about shepherds is they actually can count. So every night the sheep come back and they count them into the pen. So I reckon they could probably even count to 100, maybe 200.
That's pretty awesome.
Maybe my facts aren't as exciting as yours, Cheryl, but...
No, they're pretty good facts.
Thanks.
Would you like to know a joke about a sheep?
Hey, I've actually written some down, so...
Oh, awesome. Well, how about I tell you one first?
All right.
What do you call a sheep covered in chocolate?
No, you have to tell me.
A candy bar.
That is very cute. I like it. All right, let me try one.
Okay.
What do you get if you cross a lamb and a rocket?
A lamb and a rocket. I don't know.
Don't tell her.
Not really. No, I can't think of it.
A space sheep?
Oh, of course.
You knew that one, didn't you, kids?
Oh. Okay, here's one for you.
All right.
Which fruit do sheep enjoy the most?
Which fruit do sheep enjoy the most? Nah, you got me there. You're going to have to tell me.
Bananas.
Of course. That's a good one. I think the dads will like that one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, one more.
Okay, one more go.
What do you call a dancing sheep?
A dancing sheep.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm sorry, I don't know.
Ballerina. Like ballerina.
Oh, but it's a bar.
I know, right? Anyway,
that's pretty good.
I'm sure you guys can come up with a few more sheep jokes, but we are going to tell you a story now about a sheep, and funny enough, her name's Candy Bar, and she was actually a little sheep, and this is a story called Candy Bar Returns. So we're going to read it, so just excuse us while we do that. All right, here we go. Are you ready, Cheryl?
I'm ready.
You can be Candy Bar.
Awesome.
All right. Candy Bar was a young sheep in a flock of 100 sheep. She loved her shepherd Bruce, and she was not a fan of the other sheep.
My shepherd Bruce is so cool, but man, I do not like some of those other sheep in my flock. They tease me all the time, and I'm just sick of it.
Oh, poor Candy Bar. She had straight wool, and some of the young and older sheep would tease her about it. Some would say, "What's wrong with you?" And some would laugh at her and tell her that she looked more like a goat, and maybe she should move next door to the goat pen. Candy was starting to have a bad attitude with the other sheep.
Get lost, you losers. Go and have a look in the mirror. Yous look like llamas.
The shepherd heard about the trouble Candy was having and decided to have a chat with her. He told her that she was a special sheep and there was a reason she was different. She just needed to be patient, and one day she would find out why.
But I don't want to be different. I just want to be like everybody else.
The shepherd told Candy that he loved her just the way she was, and she shouldn't listen to others who put her down. He told her it didn't matter what others say. It was right the way she was right the way she was. Candy looked at the shepherd, but she wanted to believe him, but she just didn't know why. One day, she decided that she could actually do better on her own. She didn't need the flock or her shepherd.
As soon as we go out in the morning, I'm going to make a run for it. I don't need anyone anymore. I'm sick of hanging with these has-beens. It's time for me to do what I want to do.
Well, when morning came and the shepherd moved the flock out for the day's activities, Candy Bar waited. And the moment when no one was watching, she ran as fast and as far away as she could.
Bye, losers. Hope I never have to see you again. I'm free now. I'm off. Whew, I can be whoever I want to be.
Well, you know, it wasn't too long before Candy started to feel very lonely and a little bit scared. She only knew how to be a sheep, and her shepherd was always there to protect her. She started to think about her wool.
Well, I actually think it's pretty cool that I have straight wool. I think I'm actually starting to like it. Maybe if people make fun of me, I should just laugh and say that's okay, because I like the way I am. Oh man, why didn't I think of this before I ran away?
The one thing Candy hadn't thought of was how much the shepherd loved his sheep. As he took them back to the pen, he would count them, so he would know that they were all safe and they were all at home. But tonight, he only got to 99. It didn't take the shepherd long to know who was missing. He told the other sheep to stay close together and that he would search and not stop searching until she was found. It took most of the night, and finally the shepherd found his little lost sheep. He put her high on his shoulders and he carried her home.
I'm so sorry for running away, but thank you for coming and getting me. I don't care anymore that I'm different. I actually like it.
Candy Bar was safe home with the shepherd and was so happy about finding his lost sheep that he actually threw a party. He invited the whole town. He loved all his sheep and always would go looking for them when they were lost. Candy Bar is happy now. She doesn't mind when the other sheep notice her straight wool. She holds her head up high and she tells them how lucky she is. She tells them that everyone is special and how the shepherd loves them all. She says, once I was lost, but now I'm found.
Yeah.
The end.
The end.
Yeah. Now that's actually a story out of the Bible, but well, it's not really.
It's not.
It's kind of like
We changed it a little bit.
we did, but the real story in the Bible is such an important story, and Cheryl's going to read that to you right now.
I'm going to read from the Bible, from Matthew, chapter 18, verses 12 to 14.
Yeah.
And it's called The Parable of the Lost Sheep. See that you don't despise any of these little ones. They're angels in heaven, I tell you. Are always in the presence of the Father in heaven. What do you think a man does who has 100 sheep and one of them gets lost? He will leave the other 99 grazing on the hillside and go and look for the lost sheep. When he finds it, I tell you, he feels far happier over this one sheep than over the 99 that did not get lost. In just that same way, our Father in heaven does not want any of his little ones to be lost.
That's actually a parable in the Bible. Jesus told that story, and a parable was actually like a story that was about something on earth but actually had a meaning from heaven. So that's what a parable is. Don't you agree with that?
Yeah.
So I think the shepherd in that story is probably Jesus himself. Who do you think the sheep might be?
I think the sheep might be all of us, everyone that he cares for.
Yeah, I think so too. And you know, Jesus says in that story that if one of his little sheep are lost, or if they don't actually know him, or maybe they did know him and then they go away, he says there that he would keep going and looking until they're found. And that's exactly what Jesus means by that story, that he'll always look for us. He always wants us to be where he is, in the safety of his kingdom, which is like the kingdom of heaven. And he wants us, he'll always come looking for us. So it's pretty good to know, isn't it?
It's a really, really great story.
Yeah, so we can have real faith in that and trust that we belong with Jesus. So, yeah, I like that. Now, I wonder, Cheryl, I wanted to ask you before we finish off.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Have you ever been lost?
I have been lost.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's okay.
How did it feel?
I felt really scared when I was lost. I felt, I've actually felt quite alone and I was quite scared. But
What did you do?
well, I hid in a corner for a while crying
Yeah.
because I was that scared.
So you were young.
I was very young, but it was okay because people came looking for me,
Oh, wow.
and then they found me. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I know, like when I was lost as a child one day in a shopping centre, my mum and dad had taught me to pray. And I know one day I stood still and I was like really scared too. And I ended up praying and saying, God, can you please send my parents back? And it wasn't long before they came back. So, it was pretty cool. So,
awesome.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this morning. We've loved bringing you the story of the lost sheep and Candy Bar's return. So, but like if you want to read the story in the Bible again, we really encourage you to do that. But we hope you have a wonderful holiday and all the best. Take care.